You know that feeling when you look at your bank account and your stomach just drops? Yeah, we've all been there. But today, we're going to talk about flipping that script. We're diving into some seriously game-changing money lessons from the amazing Nigerian author Arese Ugwu. The goal here is to turn that anxiety into action. So let's get right into it.
Let's just start with this quote, because it's kind of the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. It completely reframes the whole conversation. This isn't about complicated spreadsheets or deprivation. Nope, it's about treating your money with respect. You know, the same way you treat anything you want to grow and keep in your life. This is where it all begins, financial self-respect.
So who is the person behind all this incredible wisdom? Well, meet Arese Ugwu. She's the force behind the book, The Smart Money Woman. And let me tell you, this isn't just a book. It's become a massive cultural phenomenon, especially for women across Africa. And it even inspired a hit show on Netflix.
And she's not just an author, not by a long shot. From her TV shows to her podcast, Arese is on a serious mission to make financial literacy something that everyone can understand, and more importantly, something that actually feels relatable.
Okay, now let's get into the real stuff. This silent enemy that Ugwu talks about so brilliantly. It's an emotion that a lot of us carry around, usually in secret. It's fear. This heavy, paralyzing fear about money that can literally stop us dead in our tracks and keep us from making any progress at all.
Just take a look at these for a second. Do any of them feel a little too familiar? The fear of not having enough, of not keeping up with your friends, of failing, of losing the life you've built. These aren't just little worries, you know? They create this vicious cycle of anxiety that makes us want to just bury our heads in the sand instead of actually dealing with our finances.
But here's the insight that changes everything. Ugwu reminds us that fear, it's just a story. It's a story we tell ourselves about a future that might happen. It's not a fact. It's a narrative we create about what could go wrong, and that story has the power to keep us totally stuck right where we are.
And this right here, this is the real-world cost of living in that fear. In her book, we meet a character named Zuri. On the outside, her life looks perfect, right? The fancy car, the gorgeous apartment, the great job. But the reality, it's a house of cards. The car is broken, she can't afford rent, and she's about to lose her job. That huge gap between what things look like and what they really are, that's what happens when we avoid our financial truths.
So how do we break out of this cycle? How do we stop running? Well, the path forward starts with one single courageous step. It's time to turn around and look that fear right in the eye. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Ignoring your financial problems doesn't make them go away, it just delays them and usually makes them bigger. But the moment, the very instant you decide to accept and face your reality, that's the moment you start to take back your power.
And Ugwu gives us a super practical, powerful way to do this. First, just get those fears out of your head, write them down, make a list. Then, and this is the important part, go through each one and ask yourself why. Why am I afraid of this? Is it because I overspend? Is it because I don't earn enough? Naming the root cause is how you start to find a real solution. Okay, so once you've faced the feelings, it's time to face the facts, the numbers. You really can't manage what you don't measure. And that begins with getting totally, brutally honest about where your money is actually going.
And I mean, seriously, ask yourself that question right now. Do you know, for sure, where every dollar or naira or pound went last month? Most of us, we have a vague idea, but we can't really account for all of it. And that's a problem.
Think about it like this. Any successful business tracks every single penny. So why shouldn't we treat our own personal finances with that same level of care? This chart here is just an example. The real question is, what does your chart look like? If you don't have that data, you're basically flying blind.
So here's how you build your map. Now, this next exercise isn't glamorous, I'll be honest, but it is absolutely life-changing. Go through your bank statements. Start with last month, then look back over the whole year. And remember, this is not about judging yourself. It's a fact-finding mission to understand your own habits, the good and the bad.
See, all this work, facing your fears, tracking your spending, it all leads up to this really profound shift in how you see yourself. It's about deciding to stop being a passive passenger in your own financial life and stepping up to become the chief financial officer of your life.
And that is the ultimate transformation. The goal isn't to be restrictive, it's to be liberated. It's about taking control and intentionally directing your money to build the life you actually want and the one you can afford. You get to be in the driver's seat.
You know, at the end of the day, it really all comes down to this. As Tony Robbins says, our destiny is shaped by our choices. The steps we've just talked about, facing your fears, tracking your money, they aren't just little financial to-dos. They are powerful choices. They are choices you can make, starting this very moment, to write a completely new financial story for yourself. So the only question left is, what choice are you going to make?